Oh, absolutely. Look, yeah, my life today is very, very different to how it used to be. As you know, an indication. I rocked up here and I said, guys, take your time. I'm happy to just chill out. And the old me would have been, let's go, come on, shit to do. But,
Hurry the hell up.
Yeah, I was in a hurry all my life from a young boy and just really wanting to achieve and strive and feel successful, I think, was the big thing, not that feeling of success I think everybody strives for. And I think I struggled with that. And then thanks to a whole bunch of blunders and subsequent lessons, then you stumble across that feeling.
What is the feeling of success? Like how do you come about that
It's
feeling?
a great question, and it's a feeling. It's not a sum like people think. When I make X dollars, then I'll be successful. When I've got 5 properties, then that becomes a moving target, and you never actually. I got 5, I'll get 6, 7, 8, 9, and people rock up at 40 or whatever, and they're like, I got everything, but I'm just a bit flat, which is mega common that I coach now with a lot of people. And I think the key to feeling successful is knowing that you're enough now. I say to people, define yourself by your daily actions and integrity, not your achievements. Like most people define themselves by their achievements. And to me, they've got to change the lens on that and redefine what success is, because the reality is the only moment we've got is this one, but we're always striving for the next one and seeing this one as a means to an end. And when people can realise that if I'm actually present where I am, I can be more effective, and subsequently over time I'll do more.
And actually enjoy it. Enjoy the moment.
Absolutely. So and yet, like, I just never did. I never did. And these days, like if someone had said to me at 38, mate, at 42 you'll be super happy and grateful, I would have thought they were on drugs, because I'd never had that feeling. And I used to take drugs to get that feeling. I thought drugs will do the job. But you can only snort so much cocaine until you realise that doesn't work, and then you begin another path. But a lot of people, and the hard thing about starting a new path is what I call the transition, because when you actually do realise that you're the problem, and most people never do, by the way. So
that's true.
But if they get to that part of the journey, then the first bit's really lonely, because you're then going to be there by yourself, twiddling your thumbs. And that's when you got to start the work. So early on, the transition's very bumpy and it's fear-based, and it's an identity thing. Like when I had businesses and they weren't going well or it wasn't working, I'd be, I can't get out of this though, because like that's who I am. But you're not your business, you're not your business card, you're not your car. You're a human being, and we're here to have an experience. So I define success very differently now, and it's got zero to do with wealth. It's got a lot to do with contribution and purpose and service and connection with humans and animals and that sort of stuff, and how you treat others and your intent, what your intent is. And I always say, how can I serve, not what can I get?
Yep.
So as an example, like I've known you for many years, we've got a friendship, and when you reached out to say, do you want to jump on this? I thought, no worries, like, because you're a good person. Like I don't do things anymore, like zero. There's no agenda. If someone's a good person, you do it. If not, you don't. Like the old me, you do a podcast or something on TV if they on certain audience or any. None of that interests me anymore. I'm not strategic like that.
Yeah.
I'm not looking. It's not a means to an end. You do good things with good people, full stop, and do that again, and that's life. But we get so in our head about where we want to be and what the destination needs. There's no destination. Like life's a journey. I was playing golf the other day with a bloke, and Monday, and nice bloke, and we were talking about life, and I said, oh, look, life's great now, but I messed it all up, and can you swear on this thing? What's the go? Is there swearing allowed? Okay, good. I'm just kids, righto. Well, I said, mate, I fucked it all up. And that was the best thing. It was the greatest lesson, and I'm really happy with my little life now, And it turned out this bloke he's retired, and he was the CEO of Dell Computers and owned the Sydney Kings, this bloke. So he was a really successful fellow, and like it was interesting because he goes, mate, I couldn't agree more. He goes, if you're always striving and pushing and you've just got this empty feeling because you never quite get there, and then you realise that it's about the journey, and the destination's a moving target, and it can pivot and move. And I talk about flow versus force. Like I used to force my way through life all the time, and everything was hard because I was in ego and I was always looking at the next thing. When we started Vision PT, then we had to do another and another. Then it was just disease of more, as we were talking about before we started. And it's just not where happiness is found. And this Jeff 2.0, or it's probably Jeff 22.0, he's had a few reloads, but I think this one's probably the last one.
This one's a good one. I'm liking this one.
Thanks. Yeah, no, well, this one's coming from the right place, that's for sure. But today's a great example. Like I ride horses each day. I reckon they saved my life, the horses and the connection with them. And anyway, I was real quick story. The riding place I ride at, they're closing down because he's retiring, and so there's a whole lot of.
I didn't realise that. Oh, that's a shame.
No, but it's all
someone else is taking over.
No, well, it's going to have to close down because the lovely young girl who was going to take it over has to go back to England, and the bloke who owns it's 72. So, a bunch of the horses will stay there, and we'll just lease them and ride them anyway.
Oh, cool.
But half of them are going to retire, and we needed to find homes for them. But with my life now, with no agenda and none of the rubbish, I got Cole Sanderlands to take two of them because he's got a rescue farm.
Brilliant.
And he's a friend from back in the day. And so Cole's taking Freya and Johnny, but there was still a whole heap of ponies and a few other horses. And anyway, I was doing a speaking gig on Friday for a real estate, and the lady who owned the business, it really resonated with her. And she said, look, I've got to connect you with my friend Deb. She owns an animal rescue farm because I talk about, that being my dream and what I want to do, and also have a retreat for humans to go and heal and that sort of thing. Anyway, this is what happens when you get on the right path. So you got to meet my friend Deb. So I met her 2 days ago. She's got 100 acres, like 90 minutes north of Sydney, 50 kilometres of trails, and anyway, this incredible animal rescue place. Then when I met her, I said, oh, by the way, you don't want any ponies, do you? And she's like, ponies? Oh,
yeah.
We'd love ponies. That's what we need for the kids, blah, blah. Anyway, I said, well, I've probably got about 5 ponies and I'd love them to be rehomed in the one place. Anyway, so she was excited, and then I told Laz and Michelle, who own the riding school, and they're like crying. They're that happy and blah, blah, blah. And then there's another little racehorse that I ride. His name's Squirt. And he's going to, because he's got a tendon thing, so he can't be ridden all the time, basically. And being a racehorse, he's not like a beginner's horse, but he's awesome. Anyway, so Michelle said to me today, well, you can have Squirt, and we'll put him up on the property. You can take him up there as well. So the ponies and Squirt, and like for the kids in this rescue place and whatnot, like it's just win-win-win. Like everybody's excited and happy, and there's no agendas, but like life just works. Everything just flows. Like, the old me, I'd be ringing to try and get stuff going and chasing, and I don't do any of that now. Nothing. And if my work in real estate stopped tomorrow, that'd be cool. Like I'm not attached to anything.
Yeah.
That's the bit. Everyone's attached. We're attached to our story, to our identity, to our stuff. Mm-hmm. Like I tell the story, the last car cost $300,000 and I never felt happy or successful. And this one costs $3 million. Including GST, mind you, the Hyundai Getz, it's a ripper.
And they're good cars. The best. There's nothing wrong with them.
Except going over the Mooney Bridge in the wind.
You might blow away.
It gets a bit of drift. You've got to be a bit careful on the old Mooney. But perfect. It's like I feel successful and complete now and blessed, and driving that other car, I felt I've got to do more, and I never had the feelings that I've got now. It's a paradox. Like the thing we chase is you're never going to catch it. It's an inside job. And then the quality of the people, when they actually see that you're at peace with yourself and you're doing honest work out of service, not status, then you get more work, but you're not chasing it. And,
That's right.
And it's counterintuitive. Ambitious people, we generally think we've got to work all the time. And if I got a day off, I got to go do work. Well, you probably don't. You probably get a hobby. It'd be a radical concept. Like I didn't have a hobby for ever. My hobby was
and a lot of
Ivy
people feel
Pool.
Guilty for having a hobby because they think they should be working.
Yeah, they feel guilty.
I know what you said.
Yeah. I think a few people laughed at the Ivy Pool joke there. I think I built Ivy Pool. Don't worry about that. I funded it, but don't worry about that. But like there was now, like all my friends. Like I don't drink anymore because I was, forced 10 alcoholic, So, if you've got a drinking problem, you probably shouldn't drink. But most people I know that do have a drinking problem go, oh, no, I got it under control. Well, you don't.
Yeah.
But until you if you're drinking every day, you got a drinking problem. Like you're numbing. It's just, it's a numbing agent. Just because we live in Australia and it's a culture doesn't mean it's the go. Like if you are drinking alcohol every day, that you should, have a couple of drinks a few days a week. That's what really is where alcohol should fit in. It's not.
How does something like that get out of hand? Like when do you actually realise that it's out of hand, and how does it become addictive anyway? Like, did you sort of get to a point where you were like, hang on a second, this is...
When I got shipped off to rehab, not of my own free will, from the Mondrian Hotel in Los Angeles, was probably a moment when I what are those big champagne bottles?
Yeah, the big massive.
Those ones I don't remember, but apparently I had 4 of those on the go, spraying all the guests as they come into the Mondrian at West Hollywood. So that went down awesome. Next minute, rehab. So that was probably a bit of
rock bottom.
Well, no, that wasn't rock bottom yet. No, I hadn't, that was on my way, but I was still in ego, and so I got sober for a while, and and then 6 months later, out you go again, and boom, boom, boom. So it took about 4 goes.
Yep.
And then I still needed to have some big fuck ups before I finally went, you know what, I'm done. Yeah. My way does not work. This I can't be that unlucky. Like, you can't fuck it up every time. Like, this is me. It has to be me. So that was, but that was, I was, it was pretty dark. It was sort of the only thing that kept me going with my dogs. Otherwise I would have tapped out for sure. That was where the animal thing came from, really. It was little William and Harry, who, thanks to our friend Amy, my wonderful ex-partner, we got them together, and we're great friends, and she let me keep the dogs, and that was the big...
And they're beautiful dogs.
Oh, they get a haircut tomorrow. Wait till you see it. They're going to look trim. They look a bit fat, but it's just their fur.
It's all their fur.
Well, William's actually a bit fat. The vet said he's got to drop a few. But
does he?
She said it's funny until he's got diabetes.
Yeah.
I thought, calm down. He's all right. He's an athlete. He's bulking. But he a high performance anaerobic athlete. He's a power lifter. But anyway, those little dogs kept me going. Like, when you're in the darkness, like, you think that when you really do get to that point, you just think that you just think everything that you touch, you break. So I got to that point where, it's going to be better off without me, because I just wreck everything. That was sort of where I got to at the back end of 16, and then there was the little dogs, like, it was just this unconditional love and trust, and they'd been badly treated, and they healed and I healed. We sort of rescued each other. And then someone asked me this today, a client I coach, and they're like, so how do you go from that to, and I said, mate, it's not like a pill and you're like, I'm good. It's like, I want to kill myself every day, and then a few days a week you don't, and then for a week you don't, and then you're like, hang on, I don't know if I'm depressed anymore. Hang on, fuck, I'll just... Look at the tree, look at the bird.
Yeah.
Like it's a slow
process.
Yeah. And AA every day for a year, and like that wasn't on the vision board at 30 to be an AA at 40. Like Jeff Alcoholic, and NA as well, Narcotics Anonymous. That's like the AA on steroids. That's well, mainly just got out of the big house, and there we are, and I'm putting out the chairs, and there's the boys. Look,
there's the boys.
Bless.
That's them with a haircut, though.
Yeah, that'll be them tomorrow. There's my golf swing.
Let's have a look at your golf swing.
It's shit house. I've got a bit of work to do there, but all the gear, no idea really. All the gear, no idea, but it sort of gets along there a bit. But it's improved since then, by the way. We've made a few adjustments before you critique it in slow motion, everyone. Just go easy.
Slow it down. I need some arrows as well.
Yeah. You guys are going to draw all over it.
Is this in your house?
No, that's another place, but I wish. I got a one better, mate. I don't know where I'd put that. No room. But yeah, when you're in that sort of headspace, you don't see any value in yourself, and you just see yourself through a terrible lens. And then over time with the animals, that was a big thing. And then I just thought, well, what the hell can I do that I won't fuck up and I won't hurt people and I won't let people down? And that's when I started to do a little online thing. And that just, I kept it real, no partners, no investors, nothing.
Just you.
Just me doing me, keeping it simple, bowling down to AA, hi, Jeff Alcoholic, fucking rock and roll, let's talk, boom, each morning. And then over time, that gave me purpose. Like if anyone's struggling, like generally we lose our purpose. And like business school teaches you to leverage yourself out of your business and write yourself out of a job. Like I was the king of that. I was so good at that. The problem is you got nothing to do, and if you got a shitload of dough and a big ego, nothing to do, warning.
Spells trouble.
Yeah, strip clubs, here we come. Like, you know, I put about 7,000 strippers through college. Like, good on me. I'm a socialist. I like to redistribute
Still
the wealth.
helping people. Yeah.
I'm a champagne socialist, literally. But that's what happens. Disease of more, and then all of a sudden you've got all this money and all this stuff and no purpose.
Yeah.